There we go. We're recording now. We will record today's session so that those who maybe weren't able to join live will be able to catch up at a later date. So just for introductions, for those of you I've not had the pleasure of meeting yet, my name is Bailey Bostelman, and I'm the Director of Chapter Engagement for the Foundation Fighting Blindness. So we welcome everyone to the Baltimore Chapter Virtual Speaker Series. Just a few housekeeping items once again before we get started. Please mute your line during the presentation. We will open the floor at the end for Q&A, so you'll have plenty of time to ask any questions and dive a little bit deeper into some of the topics that's discussed. You may also ask questions today using the chat function at the bottom of your screen. We'll have a great speaker with us today. We're excited to have Toni March with us, who's the Director of the Office of Blindness and Vision Services from the Maryland Division of Rehabilitation Services. But before we jump into Toni's fantastic presentation, I want to share with you just a little bit about the Foundation Fighting Blindness for those of you who may not be as familiar with what we do. So the Foundation Fighting Blindness was organized to drive the research that will provide preventions, treatments, and cures for people affected by retinitis pigmentosa, age-related macular degeneration, Usher syndrome, and the entire spectrum of retinal degenerative diseases. We fund research in the lab, translational, clinical trials, career development awards, natural history, a registry, as well as offer free genetic testing. Today, we are the world's leading private funder of retinal disease research, raising over $856 million to fund sight restoring research. So together, I would say we are winning. We're on the cutting edge of curing blinding retinal diseases. So that means no more parents being told their children will become blind, no more young adults being told they will go blind, no more seniors being told their final years will be in the dark. This is the time to be part of the winning team that will help millions of people. We're winning thanks to our community of supporters, just like every single one of you on this call, our volunteers and our donors. Our family of volunteers and leaders stand up for those impacted by blinding diseases. From day one, they share the latest research and advancements and provide access to local resources to guide individuals through their personal journeys. Our vision is to be able to bring a community together to end blinding diseases. And one way that we are doing that is through our chapter network. We do this by focusing on three main areas: education, resources, and revenue. We want to share the latest advancements of research with the local community, provide access to local resources to guide individuals through their personal journey, as well as accelerate our mission by participating in our fundraising events and creating new ways to fundraise locally. There are many different ways that you can get involved with the Foundation Fighting Blindness. You can get involved in our mission by volunteering through your local chapter, becoming a chapter leader, or joining our professional outreach team, or getting involved in a local event. Help us to continue to fund sight-saving research by joining the Legacy Society or hosting or participating in a local fundraiser. We want each of you on this call to come out and join us for the Baltimore Vision Walk that will be taking place on June 5th at Latrobe Park, or participate in one of our other various events that bring together and supports those across the nation to show the impact of every dollar. We also have an opportunity to meet with us in person at the Orlando National Visions Conference. That will be a one-of-a-kind event where individuals who are visually impaired and their families have the opportunity to hear about exciting advancements in blindness research. All attendees can gain practical skills for coping with vision loss, learning about products and services that can improve their lives, and connect with others across the country. Lastly, if you haven't already done so, be sure to sign up for My Retina Tracker, which is a research database of people and families affected by rare inherited retinal degenerative diseases. And its goal is to help accelerate the discovery of treatments and cures. By using the data in My Retina Tracker Registry, it helps us understand how common each type of retinal disease is, how it impacts people's lives, how the disease progresses, the genes that cause the disease, and it helps researchers and companies effectively find people who might be interested in participating in research studies and clinical trials. But now to hand it over to what I know most of you all came here to hear about today, I would love to introduce our wonderful speaker this evening, Toni March. So Toni is here with us from Doors, and Toni, the floor is yours.
Okay. Oh. And there she goes. For those of you who can see my screen, I'm having an ongoing fight with my cat to stay out of the camera. So I apologize for that. My name is Toni March. I'm the director of the Office for Blindness and Vision Services in the state of Maryland. There's not a whole lot of us. I'm going to be pretty informal. I don't have a PowerPoint. I'm just going to talk to you all. If you put questions in the chat, Bailey will keep track of them. Because I can't do both at the same time, but she'll keep track of them and stop me if you have a question. I'm very willing to answer any questions that you have. You were supposed to have Tiandra Hunter-Payne. She was going to be our speaker today. She is the assistant director for the Office of Blindness and Vision Services. Unfortunately, she was unable to attend. So you have me. Just by way of explanation, Doors, the Division of Rehabilitation Services, is a state agency funded 80% through the federal government. Every state has a rehab services, and they provide services to assist individuals in obtaining employment. And I'll get a little bit more into what those services are, but I just wanted to give you kind of a big picture. We are a state agency. Although 80% of our monies are federal, and our primary purpose is to help people enter the world of work. Several years ago, it was determined that individuals who are vision impaired really do need specialized services. So what our agency did is it created a separate office for blind services. People with all types of disabilities are served by our agency. We are one agency. It's just that we have a separate group of people, especially trained to serve individuals who are blind. And that's the Office for Blindness and Vision Services. Under our core programs under Blind Services are, of course, the Vocational Rehabilitation Program, which is our primary focus. Individuals come to us, they want to go to work, and we provide services to get them there. We also have a small grant, Independent Living Older Blind. The purpose of that program is specifically to assist individuals who are 55 or older in being more independent in their homes, keeping them out of nursing homes, allowing them more independence, and allowing them to continue life in their communities. We have the Business Enterprise Program for the Blind, which is a small, not very well-known program that is for individuals who are blind. They have to meet the criteria for legal blindness. And in that program, we assist individuals in managing their own vending facility. And by facility, I mean, it could be vending machines, it could be a snack shop, it could be a cafeteria. It's all food service related, and that's based, and I'll give you a little bit more information about that later. We have pre-employment transition services. Those services are geared for individuals who are not ready for employment. They're still in high school, age 14 to 22, and the services are very specific, and they are kind of like to get kids ready to move on to the next step. We also have a small program housed at the Workforce and Technology Center, where our headquarters is, and that is a program that teaches blindness skills. It is a small program. We teach Braille, we teach independent living, we do assessments. We also do a few other career-related trainings. So our primary program is the Vocational Rehabilitation Program. We have currently about 918 consumers open in that program, and they are served by 11 counselors who are located across the state. There's a process, of course, we are the government. And the process, it starts with referral. Someone's referred to us. We contact them, take an application, collect medical and work history information, determine if they're eligible for services. And if to be eligible for services, you need to have a significant vision impairment that impairs your ability to go to work. Eligibility, our agency has changed slightly in the last 3 months. We have, as a result of a lot of things, we have some counselor shortages. We have quite a few vacancies, and we have very excessively high caseloads. Some of the counselors in field services are carrying 200, 250 cases. It's just a lot of cases. So we have reorganized a bit, and we now have what's called an eligibility unit. So all referrals across the agency go to this eligibility unit. They focus on getting the information needed to make the person eligible, making them eligible, and then those cases go to a field counselor. It was an effort to pull some of the paper and focus variety of work tasks off of the counselors in the field so that they had to have more time for what we need to do, and that's the vocational guidance and the actual services to help people become employed. Currently, DOORS, the Office for Blindness and Vision Service, and DOORS as a whole is operating under an order of selection. So what that means is we are currently working with those individuals who are determined to be most significantly disabled. So I can tell you, if you meet the criteria for legal blindness, you are most significantly disabled. If you are low vision and really don't have any other health or disability issues, you might be category 2, significantly disabled, which means you may go on a wait list. And that wait list is currently in the 2 to 3 year range before you actually receive services. Almost all of the individuals that we work with meet criteria for the category 1, most significantly disabled, and are able to start services immediately. The biggest part of our services is the communication between the consumer and the counselor, the vocational discussion that happens, what type of employment the person wants to do, and trying to figure out what is needed to go from where I am now as a consumer, where I am now, to where I want to be. And that may be a several-year process. We include a range of services, and I can't even begin to tell you every service that we provide. But just to give you some examples, career training is a focus right now for us. We want people in careers, not just what we call a jobby job. We want people to work to their potential and earn a living wage. So we do a fair amount of career training. Sometimes that is just a short certification class at the community college. Sometimes that's a 4-year degree. We also do a tremendous amount of assistive technology. Our Workforce and Technology Center has a rehab technology department. that is one of the best in the country. The staff there are amazing. They do assessments based on individuals' needs, what they want to accomplish, and make recommendations for assistive technology devices that someone may benefit from. We do job coaching. Job coaching is something that a lot of people can benefit from if they've never worked before. It's kind of, in some ways, it's like a teacher for the blind. And I don't know if you're familiar with that term. Sometimes we substitute teachers for the blind for job coaches, but basically it's someone to go on the job with you to get you started, help you get organized and know the layout of the place, and help you tackle some of those accommodation issues maybe as you first get started. We provide job seeking assistance. We provide a lot of career guidance. We have specific staff business counselors who can provide labor market information so that we're not searching for a job or preparing you for a job that doesn't exist. That's the last thing we want to do, is prepare you for something that there's one job in the state of Maryland. You know, we want you to get employed in the end. That's our goal. So we want to make sure we're doing some research about what types of jobs are available and out there in your area. Our Workforce and Technology Center, I talked a little bit about that already with the rehab technology services, but Blind Services actually has a team of staff at that facility. They provide independent living skill training. That might include cooking, it might include doing your laundry, cleaning. You know, you have to be able to take care of yourself and pay your bills and do all those independent living things to be able to go to work. So that is one of the things that we do offer at the Workforce and Technology Center. They also do a range of classes. They do some in person and some virtual, some kind of, I call them podcasts. They're not really podcasts, but they are set up like a podcast on things like interview skills, explaining accommodations to your employer, developing your resume. We also have like an intro to blindness podcast. So if you're completely new to blindness and you come to us, you may not understand the use of a white cane or the kinds of things that can assist you in everyday life. And that these are short classes that just discuss things in a group setting virtually to help people get a better idea of what their needs are and figure out the world of blindness. All of the services we provide are individualized and they go on that plan of services. It's a communication between the consumer and the counselor to help figure out that goal where you want to get to. And we work back from that to figure out what things do you need to get to your goal. And that's what goes on the plan of services. All right. So that is the big portion of us. That's the where most of our consumers, obviously 918 are currently open. That's where most of our consumers are served. We also have what's called pre-employment transition services. And this is for kids. I say kids, I'm a little older. A lot of people can be kids to me. But these are individuals who are age 14 to 22. And who are currently enrolled in some type of formal nationally recognized education program. So that could be high school, it could be alternative education, it could be college. It has to be a nationally recognized education program. But there are 5 core services that we can provide under that program for these kids. Self-advocacy training, work readiness training, and that might include something like independent living and orientation and mobility. Career exploration. I can't tell you how many kids come to us at 16 and you say, what do you want to do? I don't know. Or I want to be a video game player. Yeah, I know there are people that actually, sorry about that. Didn't think my phone would ring at this time at night. Video game player. I know there are people that make money at that, but it's not too easy of a job to get to. It also involves counseling on opportunities for post-secondary education or vocational training, and it includes work-based learning experiences. These services are provided through our same 11 staff that are across the state, and you can be in pre-employment transition services and the vocational program at the same time. That we do also have a small pocket of money for, like I said, independent living, older blind. This is individuals who are age 55 or older, who need some supports or training to help them maintain their independence in their home. And I say in their home. We don't provide services to individuals who are in nursing facilities or 24-hour care. That program is geared for older adults who just need a little bit of education to adapt to their reduced vision to allow them to be independent. Those services are provided in the home. I have 9 staff across the state who are teachers for the blind. The process is the same. You do a referral and an application and an eligibility and a plan, which is the paper part. But the teachers for the blind in general, go to the consumer's home. They talk to the consumer, darn it, about what their goals are, and then work with that individual to help them achieve those goals. And that might be how to use a long white cane. How can I get to my mailbox? How do I get groceries? How do I order groceries? How do I operate my microwave? How do I do my laundry? How do I read my electric bill? A variety of things that are very practical. Our teachers for the blind provide some of that training, but we also contract out with others. We have vendors who work for us who are independent contractors to provide orientation and mobility and teacher services and some limited technology training in that program. The last program I'm going to talk about is the Business Enterprise Program for the Blind. To get into this program, you have to go through our vocational program. But once you're in it till you want to leave. We may close your vocational case, but you can still be a blind manager. And there are some criteria for that program. It is an employment option for people who are blind. You do need to be able to meet certain criteria. You have to be a US citizen. You have to be legally blind. You cannot have low vision, like 20/100 in each eye. I apologize for, I'm on my laptop, my work laptop. And because I work in a variety of offices, my work phone actually follows me and it rings on my laptop. So I can answer my work phone wherever I am, but somebody is very persistent about calling me this evening. I'm not quite sure why. So I'm back to the Business Enterprise Program for the Blind. The Randolph-Shepard Act allows for any federal building, any federal facility, if they want a food service operation, if they want vending machines, they have to come to this, what's called the state licensing agency. And in Maryland, that is the Business Enterprise Program for the Blind. And we have the option of bidding on that facility. We get like extra points because we are part of the Randolph-Shepard program. And right now we have 66 locations in Maryland where we have a food service facility that a blind vendor operates. I think this will give you an idea how long this is the coolest program. It could be anything from like a little coffee shop and like a mini Starbucks to a little snack bar that just sells candy bars and newspapers, or it can be an entire cafeteria. And we have, like I said, 66 vendors currently, or 66 facilities currently. The age of our oldest vendor, I think, is 83. He's been with us for 40 some years. Once you get into the program and get your facility, you are on your own. It's your business. It is completely your business. If you lose money, you lose money. If you make money, you make money. There's some perks that go along with it that make that easier because it's a part of the Randolph-Shepard Act. But it's, if you know food service, you've worked in food service, that's the kind of program that you might be interested in. To get into the program, like as I said, you have to be a U.S. citizen. You have to meet the criteria for legal blindness. There's a couple other things. The training for that program is about 1.5 years. And what's happening right now, that program is really suffering right now. As many of you know, the federal government is teleworking. Well, if you're teleworking, you're not buying a tuna fish sandwich at the snack bar in the building. So right now we only have 27 of our 66 facilities open. We're not taking new candidates right now because we've got to get the remaining vendors that we have that are currently unemployed back in their facilities. And we're waiting on some determinations from the federal government to see if they are going to bring people back on a full-time basis, or they're going to continue to telework or what have you. So that program is in flux right now. But we're still pushing the envelope, and we're moving to having what we call vending routes, where blind entrepreneurs will operate vending machines in those federal buildings. Less overhead, less need for 1,000 people or a certain amount of foot traffic, but they can still earn a living in an independent entrepreneurial type of employment. So that's an overview of the Office for Blindness and Vision Services. I am going to tell you that we are currently have a number of openings, not just in OBVS, but in doors in general. We're at about 25% vacancy rate. So if you watch the MSDE website, you will see one job announcement after another for vocational counselors across the state. I currently have 4 of my 11 BR counselors. 4 of those positions are vacant. I have 1 supervisor vacancy, and I have 2 teacher vacancies. So we're struggling to try and get everything done. But OBVS really does try to work together, and everybody pitches in. And I have somebody from Cumberland right now working on cases in Annapolis because we can do things virtually in a lot of cases. So that's my spiel. The other thing in terms of job openings, if you don't want to work 40 hours, you don't want to work for the state, you just want to earn a little bit of money. So I contract out a decent amount of teacher for the blind services. So that would be someone who goes into the home. Most of them are the elderly, little 73-year-old woman who's got macular degeneration. She's afraid to operate her stove. She doesn't know where the buttons are on her phone, and she can't read her mail. And the teacher goes in and talks to her about what her primary needs are, works with her on adaptive techniques to do what she needs to do, maybe make some recommendations for some devices. And we pay teachers for the blind $39 an hour. It is a completely contractual position, not contractual, it's contract. completely contracted position, so you get a 1099. We also need rehab technology specialists. That person, a rehab technology specialist, needs to have a background in rehab technology and have a good, solid knowledge of CCTVs, scan and read, JAWS, Fusion, all of those kinds of Braille notes, note takers, you name it, because we use them a lot for worksite assessments, assessments for kids for college, and then we use them for training to get people up to speed so that they are efficient and effective in their work or education. So that's my spiel. I'd be happy to answer any questions. I know I talked very fast and I covered a lot of stuff, but I'd be happy to ask any questions that you have.
Toni, it's Mindy Cap. Oh,
Go ahead, Mindy.
Go ahead, Mindy.
sorry, I figured a lull. So, question for you: with all the technology you just mentioned, do you also have someone that may teach the skills of accessibility, like on the iPhones and iPad minis?
We do. It depends on the program you're in as to whether we can provide that service, but we do have individuals who can teach tap, tap, swipe for iPhones, non-visual access for iPhones. I'm working on one for Android right now. I've got him half hooked to come do some work for us. And then we have Apple product and people that can instruct on Apple products.
Okay, thanks.
You're welcome. Anybody else? Bailey, do you have any questions for us? I know our agency's been at your various and sundry events, and you've probably seen a multitude of my staff to man the booths and what have you.
Yes, no, this was a great overview of everything. So I know a lot of people are probably digesting all of it right now, figuring out, oh, that sounds interesting. I might be interested in that resource or this resource. So for those who maybe, don't know right now what their question might be, or if that even feel comfortable presenting it on this call, how would it be best for them to reach out directly to you? Would there be an info box? What's the best way to get in contact?
So my secretary's number, our main office number for Office for Blindness and Vision Services is 410-554-9277. If you can't remember that, go to our website. Our website is new and fresh. We just updated it. You can refer yourself on there. Somebody else can refer you. Anybody can refer you. But if you go to the publications page, there is all kinds of stuff there. So you go to resources, the big yellow book. I call it the big yellow book. I honestly have been in this job for 25 years. I don't know what it's really called. It's a long name. Blind Resource Guide. Do you know what I'm talking about? It's a big yellow book. It has all kinds of stuff in it. It has our doors process. It has places where you can order stuff like maxi aids, different kinds of devices. It has national organizations like the NFB and the ACB, all kinds of resources, and it's right there on our website.
Hey, Toni.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, sorry, it's Mindy again. When you talk about filling out an application, if you qualify for becoming a patron or a customer of Doors, how long does the process take once you fill out the application?
Well, I talk about doing a referral. So what happens, and I'm going to go through the process a little bit. If you go to our Doors website, there's on the left, it'll say, do you want services from Doors? You click it, it takes you to a page. You fill out some basic information. Someone can do it for you. You can do it yourself. Name, address, phone number, just real basic stuff. Check the blind box because then it comes my way. Alternatively, you can call my secretary and she'll ask you the questions and fill it out online for you. Because not everybody has a laptop, not everybody has access to the website. So you can call any of our offices and say, I want to refer myself, I want to refer somebody else. Of course, I think my secretary is fabulous and she's very good at that. She takes the referral. They're going to send you a packet of paper in the mail. Whether or not you can fill out that paper application or not matters not to me. We have to, by law, send you that application packet within 10 days of the referral. So you're going to get an application packet, but that referral is going to be assigned to an individual. That individual is going to call you on the phone and schedule an appointment to meet to complete the application. That may be a virtual appointment. You may do it over the phone. I did a couple today over the phone, but we have to send that completed application to you for a signature. Because everything, is about the attorneys. I have to have that signature. I put you in our system. And then once that application is in, I have 60 days to make you eligible. As a blind person, it rarely takes that long. I just need your eye notes. I need some doctor to tell me what your vision is, and it really makes it easy. Then the hard work comes and we figure out what kind of work you want to do and what we need to get you there. And that's going to depend on you, how long you've been vision impaired, how much training you've already had in adapting to vision impairment. If you already have a college degree, or if you're just starting out, that plan part's going to take a while. Writing the plan, let me correct that. Writing the plan, we have 90 days to write the plan.
And then
after the plan is written, we just start providing services.
Okay.
And the plan is a living document. So we write that plan, it gets us started. But if, I don't know, we get halfway through and you're like, oh crap, my O&M really sucks. I need to get some training. I can add that to the plan. We can amend the plan at any time. It is a living document.
Fantastic.
Does that all make sense?
Now, I know this may sound, I know what O&M is. Does everybody else knows what O&M means?
I'm sorry. I've been in the business for so long.
Oh, no, I know. I'm just
truly.
No, you're good, Toni.
No, once you do this for so long, you start throwing, and the state, oh my goodness, do we have some words? We call it state bureaucracy talk. It's awful. So I like when we do these informal, just tell me if I'm, don't be afraid to ask. It's orientation and mobility, and it's training on how to travel safely with or without a cane. Most of the time it's with a cane. But we have done some O&M for orientation and mobility for individuals who have pretty useful vision, but maybe have field cuts that they need to pay attention to. So that's what orientation and mobility is. And the teachers for the blind teach lots of stuff.
No, thanks, Toni. I didn't mean to be, but I know sometimes I know the nomenclature because like you, I've been around for a while, but some may not. So I always like to throw in just like making sure everyone is not afraid to say, gee, I don't even know what that is.
But we work with people from, oh, crap. My vision is really just getting bad and I don't know what to do now, to individuals that have been through, one of the training centers. And when I say training centers, I mean training centers like the Blind Industries and Services of Maryland. I work with them. I can speak a little bit about them. I do not work for the Blind Industries and Services of Maryland, but I work with them every day. They provide we have a cooperative agreement with them. They provide a lot of services for our consumers, and they have a 9-month training program. You live there, you live in a BISM apartment, you go to class all day, every day. You do recreational activities on the weekend and put your new skills to use. But they have classes in woodworking. You have to do a woodworking project. If you, mind you, all of this is under sleep shades. So if you have vision, they take it away. And I'll explain why in a minute. But they make you wear sleep shades. They have woodworking, they have braille, they have computer technology, they have cooking, and they have housekeeping, orientation and mobility, and they have like a self-advocacy component. So it's a complete package. We use it a lot for people who are newly blind or newly totally blind. It can be very intimidating, but the individuals that come out of that program, they are on it. They're independent. They're ready to go.
No, Toni, I'm glad you said that, not to take over, but we hope, Carissa was supposed to be a part of this, but she's with Blind Industries and Services of Maryland, because like you say, you balance one another. You do more of the employment, they do more of the independent living day to day. So I'm sorry, that piece didn't get there, but one of our members of this chapter went through that 9-month BISM program, and she talked about, going snowboarding, wearing the shades. They really do teach you how to do a lot more than what you'd ever think you'd be doing as a blind or visually impaired individual. And she says it was really worth it.
One of the, to graduate from the program, and, you benefit from the program whether you graduate or not. I'll just say that. But to graduate from the program, one of their requirements is that you plan and execute an out of town trip. 9 times out of 10, it's out of state, and you use multiple means of public transportation, not you use whatever's there. You use planes, you use buses, you use Uber, but it's, the same transportation anybody else would use, not medical transport or, something like that. They ask you to bring something back from a specific place where you're going, whether it's a business card from a restaurant or a menu from a restaurant that they know you can't get anywhere else.
And she did that. She went to like Chicago and did that. Tina, who's part of our Tina Gross Jones did it. And she said it was truly an experience. It's
in the beginning, you think, oh, good Lord, how am I going to get there? But by the end, you know what? You are so independent. You've done so much with their support and guidance. It really is a life-changing experience. They do also have, and I shouldn't even be talking about this, but they do also have a seniors program. They have one in Salisbury and they have one in Baltimore. It's 2 or 3 days a week, depending on what you want to do. And it's kind of like a toned down version of that 9-month program. It's a little less strenuous, but they also have a senior program. Now,
that's good to know.
I'm going to stop talking now unless anybody has questions, because I will go on forever. We'll share the knowledge. Like I said, you can put my phone number 410-554-9277. If anybody has any questions later, my secretary can answer. She keeps a resource book for people for even non-blind stuff, because we get all kinds of calls. She could take referrals, or you just have questions later. So that's it, guys.
Well, thank you so much, Toni. This has been wonderful. I know that I've learned a lot. I hope that everyone on this call has learned a lot. This is recorded, so I'll make sure to send a link out to everybody. So if you missed any of the information or need any additional clarification, that you can listen to this video. I have also posted Toni's phone number in the chat box, as well as the link to the website. I'll also make sure to include those in the follow-up email as well, so you don't have to hunt those down through the chat feed. But thank you all again for joining us, and thank you again, Toni. This was fantastic.
All right. Nice seeing all of you. Have a lovely evening.
Bye, everyone. Thank you.
Good night.